Hey everybody, Miss Simmons here. Today we are going to do a lesson inspired by the book The Shape of My Heart by Mark Sperring and Alys Paterson. Make sure you get your supplies together because this one's really fun and you can do all sorts of different characters and symbols in the middle here. Now there are plenty of videos of this book out there and tons of fun art lessons to go with it. But this page right here is the one that inspired this project for me. I love all the different shapes in the background, and it's a great way to practice all of those shapes while making something really beautiful. Now for your supplies today, you're going to need some paper, some markers, and if you have any kind of sample sheets with different types of shapes, those are good to have too, just to help you out so that you can fill up your space really well. We're going to start by making the gator. Now, in my project, we use a gator because at my school, that's our school mascot. But you could use anything if you wanted to try to make something yourself. For this gator, the first thing we need to do is choose a color. I'm going to use this bright green here. And I like to start with a rectangle in the middle. Then color it in. Now if you're using these Mr. Sketch markers, be careful if your paper is thin like mine is, because they're very wet, and if you push too hard or go back over a spot too much, it will tear the paper. You could also do this project with crayons or colored pencils, but it goes a little bit faster if you use markers. Another really fun way to try this project would be to make a collage out of it and cut it out of different types of paper. The next thing we're going to do is make the eye. A nice big circle and color it in. The mouth is going to be open, so we're going to use a rectangle pointing up for the top half of the mouth. And a rectangle pointing down for the bottom half. These Mr. Sketch markers are scented, and I'm really liking this one. It's mint. My room is smelling so fresh and clean now. Inside the mouth, we're going to put some teeth. We don't want to put lots of little teeny tiny teeth like this because they won't stand out very well with our shape. Instead, we want to put some nice big triangles to make our teeth, and I'm going to color them in so that my alligator is one big silhouette, so that it's just the shape of the alligator, since we're basing this off a book about shapes. I'll put some big teeth on the bottom too. Nice big triangles. On top of our nose, we want to put a little half circle. On the back, you want a nice big triangle for the tail. Now if you're using markers, be careful with your hand. Try not to set it straight down on the wet marker or you'll get marker all over your hand that will smear. I'm keeping my hand up. Another good trick is that you can use a piece of paper and you could put paper under your hand while you're coloring and then move the paper around as you're working. I had Post-it notes nearby, so that's what I grabbed. On the back, we want some triangle spikes. And just like our teeth, we want these to be nice and big so that they give our gator a fearsome silhouette. All right, now we've used all of our geometric shapes, our circles and squares and rectangles and half circles, to make this part of the gator. Next, we're going to use an organic shape, a shape that doesn't have a specific name, that could be found in nature. We're going to make some nice zigzag leaf kind of shapes. We're going to come down, put a zigzag, and then go back up. If I turned it around, it almost looks like a bunch of blades of grass stuck together. That's how we're going to make our legs. Now, if you look back at my original sample, I have a little heart inside my gator. I'm not going to do that yet because I want to let this marker dry. Right now it's very wet. Instead, I'm going to take a look at my little shape chart here. And I'm going to choose a color. It can be any color you want. And then I'm going to choose a shape. These are all organic shapes. All geometric shapes. And you can tell because they all have their little names right here underneath them. I'm going to start with a square. And I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to make squares all over the page. By spreading them around like this, it's going to create balance and allow for good variety when I get out my next color and make my next shape. Okay. Maybe I'm going to make some circles. And I'm going to make my shapes different sizes. And I might even make some of them look like they're coming off the edge of the page. As you go, take your time practicing and trying all these different kinds of shapes while you fill in the background on your artwork. When it starts to get crowded and you start to run out of room, don't forget that you can use organic shapes too. A shape is any line that has become closed. So I can make an organic shape by taking a line, wrapping it around, and bringing it back to meet itself. This is an organic shape. And I can use those organic shapes to fill in odd shaped spaces around my page. You can also make organic shapes that look like things, like the shape of a flower or the shape of a butterfly. So enjoy practicing all your different kinds of shapes. And make sure you share your art with someone you love. Because after all, we are using the shape of my heart as our inspiration, and it's a book all about different kinds of shapes and loving those shapes for what they are, not for what we think they could be. This is the shape I love you with. This is the shape of my heart. Happy creating!